Hello everyone, welcome to Project X Talks Top 5 Game Pass Strategy Games. Another list curated by me. Now when I say top, these are my personal favorites. There's going to be games on here you're going to be like, why is this game not here? I don't know, alright? Maybe I never played it or whatever. I cannot say, okay? I'm sorry, it's not here. But I do promise you the games that I do have on here are going to be entertaining. And if you're a strategy fan, you're going to have a lot of fun with this. Now, the line, where do you draw the line for strategy games? And that's what I had to do here. I left the genre as open as possible, so it includes, strategy combat games or city builders, just because the genre is so open. So here's my top 5 strategy games on Xbox Gamepass. I'm going to try to do this all in one take. We'll see how much I actually cut out. The first game is Wargroove. If you guys ever played games like Fire Emblem, like old school Fire Emblem games, you'll feel right at home with this one. It's really quick combat scenarios. It's nothing that you really have to plan excessively long, and there's no real leveling as there is in Fire Emblem. But there is within each individual match. So it's a tile-based game. You choose your troops. There's the enemy troops in the scenarios, and then you go at it. The combat is pretty fun. The main goal is capture towers, and the towers you get lets you get more resources to go ahead and get more troops out, so on and so forth. It's a fun game. The AI in this game could also be really challenging, which is really good. There is also the addition of co-op that they added a while ago. It was an update. It's there. There's also some PvP if you want to go that route as well. So it's fun. Little game. Probably the smallest download on this list. So go ahead and download that one first. Then we have a city builder, I guess, of sorts. But this one's like a lot of strategy involved in this one. And this one is one of my favorite strategy games. I personally have not played this one on Xbox, but I have played a lot of it on my PC. It's called Frostpunk. In this game, it takes place in an apocalyptic future where the globe is being encompassed by this epic ice age scenario. And you and your survivors are going to go through, try to build your own village, and just utilize all the resources that you find in the area to try to both keep your people warm via the generator within the middle of the city. And you're going to have to do a lot of different things, like find other survivors, bring them in, research different things that's going to help you. Like maybe you need heaters for your village, right? Because if the only heat point is the center reactor, we need something to disperse that heat. It's just a fun game, and there's a lot of moral complexities involved in it as well. Like, do you force the children to work, or do you make them not work? Do you bury the dead, or do you burn them alive? It's really things like that that keeps the game flowing well and nicely, and it keeps you on your edge, or keeps you on your toes, I should say. And the experience will be a fun one. I promise you, if you play Frostpunk, you're gonna get the best of both worlds. City builder with a lot of strategy involved. Fun game, and there's also an endless scenario as well if you want to play that instead. I don't know if it's a DLC or not, but if you want to keep playing nonstop, there's also that option. But for just a bare bones game where you can just go from point A to point B to beat the game, the Frostpunk is a good option for you. Alright, the next one on the list is a grand strategy game, Stellaris. This one actually has a Series X update as well, so perfect if you're a Series X, Series S owner, right? Stellaris is a grand strategy game. Pretty much you have to colonize different planets and try to become the top empire in space. There is multiple victory scenarios you can do to win. If you ever played a game like Civilization, you would be aware of that. So it really depends on what you want to do for your village. Or your colony, or your empire, I should say. You start off picking your race. What race are you going to go for? What kind of governments are you going to go for? Are you going to be like democratic? Are you going to be archaic? Are you going to just not let anyone do anything that they want to do with their life and just force every little piece of it. Are your inhabitants going to be smart? Are they going to be stupid? You have to choose all this stuff wisely to have the best civilization as possible. For example, if you want to be one that can control your civilization, maybe you might want to make them stupid. Because stupid people are easy to influence, am I right? Now, there's downsides with that, obviously, that they are more subject to conspiracies and stuff like that, which could, in turn, just screw you over as well. But there's just so many different complexities in this game. It's one of the harder ones to learn. It is a Paradox game. Paradox they publish a lot of hard games. They have a lot of strategy games on Game Pass. Paradox. This is my personal favorite from their list. Definitely take your time. Don't rush the game. Maybe watch some YouTube tutorials to get you started. And I promise you, once you get started and once you feel like you got a good grasp of the rules, this is definitely one game that you can spend hundreds of hours on. Alright, fourth one on the list. This is by far the best city builder strategy game you can ever play. You know SimCity? Throw it out. We don't need that game anymore. It's trash. We have City Skyline now. This is another Paradox game, published game. It's really good. City Skyline, it is the best city builder you could possibly have. It has all the normal aspects that you would think a city builder should have if you've ever played a SimCity game, like road construction, zoning, plumbing, taxes, waste removal, and just so much more. Oh, and the best part about this one, the worst part, depending on how you look at it, is the traffic. One of the hardest things to manage in this game is the traffic. This game nails it so well. In higher density areas where there might be a lot of flow of traffic, you have to figure out the best ways to mitigate those traffic issues and become like an actual engineer in this stuff. Like, I had to watch actual videos of how the best cities in the world manage their traffic to try to figure out how to integrate some of that stuff into my city, and it works. Pretty much roundabouts everywhere. You want roundabouts. It might not look as pretty as normal grid structures, but it works. Once you learn how to section off your cities properly, it'll work perfectly. Just experiment. Make it as wild as you want. Once you see those traffic issues start popping up, you're probably going to be like, I might have to make another city now. You can. Or you can fix it. Or you can make a new one and think ahead and this time fix those issues from ever happening. City Skylines. I cannot recommend this one enough. All the DLCs in this game are not included on the Game Pass. However, if you want to add on a lot of extra value in this game, get the DLCs. They are fantastic and they add on so much extra content as well. However, the base game, hundreds of hours easily without any DLCs. Last game on this list is 2 Point Hospital. So 2 Point Hospital is sort of like cheesy, comedic hospital simulator of sorts. So you have your hospital, and what you want to do is make sure your hospital is making money, right? Making sure that the needs of the community is met, making sure that the treatments are being done to the consumers, and it does it in a comedic way. So a lot of these illnesses that people come up with, you have to find weird ways to resolve them. For example, there's one called lightheadedness. Dudes come in, literal light bulbs as heads, and you have to bring them to the machine. After you check them in, they get their head unscrewed and then they get their head screwed on again. It's weird stuff like that. Fun hospital simulator for sure. It might not be the most in-depth one. I feel like this one's a really good one if you're a starter at strategy games. But you can spend a lot of time on this one. The radio stations are good. The cosmetic designs you can do to the hospital is fun. Just be creative and have fun with this one. Makes nice waiting areas for the people coming in. Make sure they're getting checked in timely. Make sure your staff members are being able to get accommodated as well. Have restrooms, break rooms, snacks. Make sure you have fire extinguishers in proper areas of the hospital, junk, security. There's just so much to do in this one and a lot to manage. But it doesn't force it all on you all at once. When you start off in the first hospital, think of it as a tutorial. But it progressively gets harder as you go. And you get different hospitals as you move up through the neighborhoods. Fun game. I recommend this one. It's on Game Pass. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you guys like this list. We'll have more content like this on a weekly basis. And we also have our live podcast every Thursday around 4:45ish to 5 o'clock. We go ahead and start streaming. And you can also catch that on Anchor or Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you catch your podcasts. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time.
Yay!